Brilliant Entrepreneurs and Writers Academy presents the biggest creative writing and public speaking competition in Africa. Also featuring the illustrious African Writers Awards, experience BEWA Content Creation Competition. Write, video, be visible, win.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel and we're live at BEWA TV show. I am your host for today and we're going to be talking about how to become a brilliant content creator on today's show. Live with me in the studio today is our first prize winner of BEWA Content Creation Competition 2.0. It was a fantastic experience. As you already know, Brilliant Entrepreneurs and Writers Academy usually hosts the biggest creative writing and public speaking competition. We finished the 2.0 edition in 2022 and Emmanuel became the overall first prize winner. And of course, he's live with us here in Uyo, all the way from Niger State, Minna. So we're going to talk about how to become a brilliant content creator as he shares his experience and knowledge with you. Welcome, Emmanuel, to the studio.
Thank you so much, man. I'm so glad to be here.
Okay, so can you tell us what was your experience being a participant of the BEWA Content Creation Competition? And not just a participant, but actually being a winner. What was your experience like?
Okay, it was a great experience because one of the things I learned through the competition is having a goal at hand. I could remember before the competition began, I already had the target that I was going to be the first prize winner.
Awesome, you were so confident.
Yeah, I was so confident about it.
What gave you that confidence?
Because I've been creating content consistently over the years, and I'm already exposed to the things needed to become a content creator and even brilliant. And I've been coaching people on the subject. So I just saw this as an avenue to get my message to more audience. So I was confident and I met with people that passed through it before and emerged victorious. So I was definitely confident that if I could implement the strategies I had, then I was going to get the results I deserved and I wanted.
That's really awesome. Now, talking about consistency, it looks like a very big word to a lot of people, a lot of content creators. They think that maybe people are created with a certain gift of consistency. Let's talk about consistency. What do you think content creators out there can do to be more consistent? Because during the competition, you had to write for 30 days. Yeah. Now, beyond the competition, you are still consistently creating content on your own platform, on your own pages. What drives you? What can help content creators out there to be more consistent with their content creation?
Talking about consistency, I think the basic thing is for you to understand why you need to be consistent. Because Miles said, when the purpose of a thing is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Meaning that when you don't understand why you need to be consistent, there will be no reason for you to be consistent. So you have to discover a strong reason. You have to have a vision. Okay, what do I want to achieve with my consistency? It's not just about you waking up one day and saying, I want to be consistent. Why do you want to be consistent?
Something must drive you.
Yes, there must be a driving force for you to be consistent. And when you now understand the driving force, you set a smart goal. Meaning that your goal must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be attainable, it must be realistic and time-bound. Take for instance, this competition, there was a time bound for it. It was 30 days. So the goal was that I must be consistent for 30 days in creating top-notch content, high-valued and strategic content that will satisfy my audience. And also, it must be measurable. One of the ingredients or the things I used to measure my consistency was that I was checking the feedback I was receiving.
So it has to be measured.
Yes, I was checking the feedback from time to time. I was checking the engagement. I was checking the comments people were making. And one of the things that I so much loved about the competition was it was engaging. So there was a lot of people that was praising me both openly and secretly. But people that I've never thought that they will even ever come to my DM. They came to my DM and said, bravo, I love what you are doing. I could remember on the fourth day of the competition, someone made a post, part of the participants. I was talking about me.
Okay. So I think I saw that post.
So those were some of the things that was encouraging me and say, oh, wow, that means it's yielding a fruit. That means I still need to continue in what I'm doing because I'm achieving my goal already. So that's one thing you must still do. Another thing is you must understand yourself. When we talk about consistency, many people think that when you are consistent in content creation, you must post every day. They don't know that it's beyond posting every day. It's not about the quantity. It's about the quality of what you are producing. And when you define quality in content creation, it means that it must satisfy your audience wants and needs. If it is not satisfying the needs of your audience, then there's no need for you to be creating those contents. Also, if it is not meeting your own goal, then there is no need for you to create those contents. So you must discover why and create an environment based on your personality. Will your present state afford you the privilege to be creating content every day? I see some content creators creating 5 contents every day, and some have been doing it for over 10 years. But I know that I can't do that. So I stick with what is working for me and let go of what is not working for me. So that's where understanding of oneself comes in. And also, you must have an accountability system. One of the things that helped me during the competition was that I had an accountability system. I had coaches that I submitted to. So if I say I want to drop out, they don't speak well of me in their side.
So in other words, you actually need other people around you.
Sure,
You can't
yes.
achieve it on your own.
No.
And I like the point you mentioned about consistency in terms of thinking that consistency is about showing up every single minute. It's not about that. It's about what works for you,
Yes.
what helps you achieve your goals per time. That's a very intelligent one. Let's continue this conversation in terms of content creation that helps you stand out. All right?
Okay.
What can content creators out there actually do to stand out from the crowd? I mean, everybody is creating content. Everybody has created content and will keep creating content. In fact, social media has many users, and then the internet is basically flooded with a lot of content. Now, as a content creator coming in, even beyond the competition, how can you stand out? How can you create content that actually makes you stand out from the crowd and actually command attention?
Okay, when we talk about creating content that stands out, I always say that begins with you. Because every one of us are unique beings. God uniquely created every one of us. Meaning that if you discover your uniqueness, everybody, you will stand out. The problem is that because we see our mentors do something this certain way, we try to imitate them. And through our imitation, many times we lose our uniqueness. So the first thing is to find your uniqueness and own that voice, own that uniqueness, because it will be on unrefined state. You have to be intentional on developing that your unique self. There's nothing wrong in imitation, but don't lose your voice through those processes. Also, one thing I also discovered when it comes to standing out is that you must be known as someone of value, so that each time people interact with your content, they know that it's not the regular kind of content. I can remember before the competition began, I've been creating content, and someone just came to my DM and said, like, wow, king of value. I was like, what do you mean by king of value? Like, I don't like titles. So I was like, what do you mean by king of value? I even posted it on my status. I don't like those kind of titles. But as the competition progressed, people began to reference me as king of value. They were saying that I was sharing paid content even after the competition. So what will make you to stand out is creating valuable content. High value. Don't withhold those wisdom. Don't withhold your experiences. Don't withhold your uniqueness. And also, I think another thing that will make you stand out is your experiences. We all have unique experiences. Where we grew up, the challenges we faced in life, they are all unique. So when you share your experiences with your audience, it makes you stand out. That wow, so you went through it. I was watching a video last week with it was an interview with Daddy J.O. John Obidi, and someone asked him that he read it somewhere that he engaged in bricklaying while he was younger because they had financial issues. So Daddy J.O. said, yes, that's true. That he engaged it, I think, a month or so. I can't remember. So listening to that, it gave me hope that no matter the challenges I'm facing, I can come out strong and still be my best self. Because if Daddy J.O. that we all reference to, that we all celebrate today, was once a bricklayer due to financial problems,
Then
and anybody can rise to anything. So his unique experience that he shared there already gave me hope and made me to stand out. Meaning that because of that, I will be following him. It has made him stand out. That it was not bread and butter for him. It was not all rosy for him. He had to pass through some processes. So that also will help you to stand out.
In other words, storytelling is part of the ingredients for actually standing out as a content creator.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Okay, so moving on, what do you think are the potential challenges that content creators face, or what have you observed that content creators face, the problems that they face, and how can they basically overcome them?
Okay, the first problem I see a lot of content creators make in this day is they are not ready to subject themselves to the process. The problem is they are focusing on profitability of the skill, neglecting the professionalism of the skill. So you see someone that just finished a class, his first class, going ahead to organize a class to teach people what he just learned that he has not practiced. It is not done this way. It's a big problem because you're already creating a wrong impression on your brand. You're already making a very grievous error because those people that attend that class and see the quality of what you delivered, when you launch a better program, when you've learned your lesson through trial and error, they might be unwilling. And in fact, your brand reputation is at stake. Because they might say, even if their friends come to them, they might, I saw this program and I would love to enroll in it. They'll be like, wait, I enrolled in this class and this was the result. So I don't advise you to enroll. That's why they call a lot of online training scams. Not because they are scams, but because a lot of people don't deliver the value they promised. So the second thing is lack of implementation. You don't learn something and go back and sit down and say, oh, it will bring benefits to me without you implementing what you've learned. So many times those that enroll in courses, content creators, they enroll and they learn a lot of things. They're excited. During the course of the mentorship or the training, they do all they are asked to do. Whereas majority don't even do it. They just pay and come into the class expecting a magic to happen. So after 2 or 3 months or 6 months, they are not getting the results they desire. Like, no, this is a lie. There is something else that you are doing that you haven't revealed to us. But that's not true. It is when you implement it that the result will come out because the result you are looking for is in the implementation that you've not done. So the second thing is that you must be ready to implement whatsoever you've learned. If you don't implement it, you can't get the result you desire. In fact, King Solomon told us that he said, "Seest a man that is diligent, he will stand before kings and not mere men." Meaning that if you want to stand before kings, people of notoriety, high value people, then you must be ready to say, okay, this is the value I'm bringing to the table. I'm implementing some things, and these are the bespoke strategies I've been using, and these are the amazing results I've been getting. Another thing I would say a lot of content creators are making is they expect everything to come easy for them, easily. Like it's just want ease, ease. They don't want to come out of their shell. Some believe that one day a miracle is going to happen, and they've been waiting over the years. No miracle has happened, and I would like to burst your bubble. No miracle is going to happen because you can't continue to stay in your cubicle and expect that contracts will come to you. No, go out there, market yourself. Now you've implemented, you've learned a lot of things. Market yourself. Don't be afraid to even charge for the value you offer. Because if you don't charge people, you will remain broke. And you can't invest in your personal development when you are not making money from something. It's what you are able to receive that you're able to give out. So these are some of the mistakes a lot of content creators out there are making.
Okay, okay. So that's a very good one. Talking about more challenges that content creators are facing, I think let's talk about writer's block. I mean,
Yeah.
being unable to create content. It's one thing for you to actually have ideas in your mind. I mean, a lot of content creators have ideas in their minds, but how to present it becomes a problem. Let's talk about writer's block. How can content creators actually overcome the problem of being stuck in actually creating their content for the world to read?
Okay, writer's block is a great problem for many, and it all starts from their inability to generate content ideas. But the truth is, everywhere you go, there is content ideas. That's why there are different categories of content you can create, such as personal content, where you share your life history, such as motivational content, you inspire your audience, entertainment content, those times whereby you just feel like flexing with your audience, and educational content whereby you educate people on your product and your services, how they can get the best out of it. So when you understand how to generate ideas, you'll be able to overcome writer's block. Also, consistent reading. I always say that every writer must read, if not daily, consistently. I don't want to use the word daily, but you must read consistently. Stephen King said writers do two things a lot: they write a lot and they read a lot. There is no how you'll be taking information over and over again and you will not be able to produce it. It is what you've taken in that you produce out. So if you want to overcome writer's block, get books related to your niche or your industry. And you can even get books that are not even related to your industry. I just want to learn from it. So you can get it. Interact with other content creators. Read their content. Many times when I read people's content, that's how I get inspired to create content, I myself. So when you interact with them, it inspires you. Another thing is perfectionism. That's a major problem. Some people is not that they are suffering from writer's block. They just want it to be perfect. But the truth is, it can never be perfect. Because it is writing is based on principle of relativity. What you think that is perfect, another person might read it and say, no, I don't like it. So another person will be like, wow, this is the best content I've ever written. You must not let yourself to be cocooned by perfectionism. Just allow yourself, as long as you are growing, you never reach that stage whereby you are totally perfect because we keep on learning.
Great. That's really, really fantastic. You've really like thrown more light on these, critical areas. During the competition, I heard you talk about, or I read one of your articles where you're talking about content bank. So, what do you think is the connection between having a content bank and actually fighting writer's block that you just talked about now?
Okay, content bag, but I actually wrote a book on that, and
Okay.
it's so amazing because the book is so great, giving the results. So, content bag is, um, let's say, just like let me liken it to a banking system, whereby when you have quite a number of money with you, maybe you made profit, then you take it to bank and save it. Why are you saving it? Because of the rainy season, so that those days whereby you need urgent money can easily fall back to something. So when you don't save money, when you have in excess, it becomes a problem when there's scarcity. So one thing you must understand as a writer, as a content creator, is that the ideas will not be flowing every day. There are some days where you'll be able to generate 10 different ideas. So what you do is that when you generate those ideas, you don't say because I've already generated one or two today. And based on my own definition of consistency, I just want to be making posts twice per day. Then you now discard the 8 other ideas. No. You get a book or a file. I will advise a file, maybe Google Docs, which has it is cloud-based, whereby you just save everything there. So days whereby you lack ideas, you now go back to your bank to withdraw from it. So, and you still show up and you still be consistent. People now begin to ask you, how are you doing this? Then you tell you they will not know that it's not that you got that idea newly. It is a result of the idea you've saved in your bank. So that's the role of content ideas bank. So that when there is an influx of ideas, you save it somewhere. Then you just upload or publish the ones you need at that present moment.
Awesome. That's really fantastic. I'm sure the viewers are enjoying the conversation so far. And they will be able to like create more content banks for their content. All right. As the first prize winner and having, won the award, the Illustrious African Writers Awards for your creativity and your consistency during the competition, what do you have to say to participants coming in for the next competition? What word of advice do you have to say to them?
You have to have a goal and be strategic about it. This is a time for you to begin to do your background work. Meet with people that can actually share the secrets to their success with you. Then even if it will require you to get to pay for it, you should. So if it is not remartious, if it's not excellent, then it's not BEWA. So you must be sure that you are really ready for it, except you just came to catch cruise. But there's no cruise in BEWA. So that's one thing you must do. Two is that there are some skills that you need. If you don't have it, it's time for you to go and develop those skills. So the third thing you need to do is to have a team. I call them my cheering team. In fact, when I wanted to name the group, I named it Winning Team. So the mentality was already there that we are going there to win. There's no argument about it. Each day I want to post, I say, let's go for the gold. So you must have those things because a time will come whereby you feel so tired, not because you are not getting results, but there are sometimes you are getting the results, but because of the cost, because it's going to strain you mentally, it's going to require you to devote time to it. So this team will keep on cheering you up with their engagement and with their words. So you should get those things and also be ready and be committed to it. Give it your all. Don't be too focused on the prize so that you lose the strategic relationships you can build through it. One of the things I enjoyed during the competition was that my ability to build strategic relationships with people, with the participants and even the members of the group. So I was able to build good relationship that is already paying me good dues. Okay. So they should build strategic relationship. When you are commenting, don't just say thank you. Comment intelligently. Let your comments strike engagement. You don't forget the G factor. When I talk about the G factor, I always call it the God factor. Okay. So it is not of he that runneth, nor of he that willeth, but it is of the Lord that showeth mercy. So after all is said and done, ensure you include God in your strategy.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this amazing, fantastic experience with us. We are glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so as you can see, we had a great experience with the first prize winner of BEWA Content Creation Competition today on the studio, and of course, it was fantastic. The next competition is starting on the 11th of February 2023. So make sure you register. It's free to participate. Come and showcase your creative writing and public speaking skills on our community. And we look forward to celebrating you during and even after the competition. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you some other time. Welcome back to another interview. Today, we're talking about embracing personal development for growth. And with me in the studio today is our second prize winner for BEWA Content Creation Competition 2.0, all the way from Enugu, live in Uyo. And we are going to be talking about embracing personal development. During the competition, you talk about personal development, and he's here to actually share some insight that you can actually pick to become a better version of yourself. So welcome to the studio, Obichukwu. Abraham. Awesome. So how was your experience participating in the competition and actually becoming a second prize winner? Just tell us.
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I am very delighted for the outcome of the competition. Okay. Prior to my joining the competition, I had that desire that I want to come out the winner. I want to be the top winner. So I feel great. And since after the competition, I've really grown into a different person altogether, because almost every blessed day I get notification you have a new friend request, and they always leave a message. I followed you and I love what you're doing and I want to connect with you, and jobs are also coming.
Okay, so that's a very interesting one. During the competition, talk about personal development. Personal development, we hear this a lot, but not a lot of people are taking it even seriously. I guess it's because they don't even know the importance. All right. So, the fact that you talked about personal development during the competition, it was quite engaging, especially your BEWA video Saturdays and all that. We talked a lot about personal development. So, let's tell the viewers a bit about the importance of personal development. What are the critical roles that personal development can actually play in people's lives positively?
All right, thank you very much for that question. First of all, I want to start by saying that every human being is self-destructive as a result of negative traits that are inborn, and some of them we learn it while growing up. So personal development is very, very necessary. And that's why in the definition of personal development, it is something you do throughout your whole lifespan. You don't stop developing. So, and the difference between this person and this person is the level of development, your level of exposure, your level of learning, and self-growth. So if you don't take personal development seriously, there is basically nothing you can achieve in this life. Because it is the more you develop yourself, the more you get the ability to unlock another level in whatever thing you are doing. Like if you go out on the street, this person sells better than this person. You will be shocked to know that it is the experience this person has gotten that makes this other one not to be able to sell as much as he's selling. Because everything is about developing yourself first before everything around you begins to increase.
Okay, so in other words, you have to always be, open to learning and experiencing new things. Now, let's talk about, different ways that you can actually develop yourself. All right, what are the critical ways that you can actually develop yourself into someone, a better version of yourself?
Okay. Now, I would say that personal development is not just about taking a course on personal development. It is being able to replace those negative traits, because I I always say a lot of things about negative traits, but this is what stops you from progressing. So by the time you replace them with the traits you don't have, which is needed for your journey, that is development. You don't know how to write, but you're learning how to write. That's the process. Okay, you see that you are a very shy person. Then you begin to think about how do you become bold in the public. So everything you do in the space of personal development is a matter of replacing the negative traits you have with the positive one that will skyrocket your journey. Every human being comes as a raw material. And with knowing that, you have this understanding that there is need for advancement in your weaknesses. And also, there are things about yourself that you don't know. So that's why they hammer on discovering yourself first. So when you take the route of discovering yourself, you begin to discover other necessary capacities you need to develop, the things that you have not thought of working on all this while, they will start coming. Although there's no blueprint to life, there is no blueprint. Like nobody has the way for everyone. But you can learn from people by being a student, not a follower. That is, you are going to you learn from people that have gone before you and attend classes, and also make sacrifices. Because one of the things that stop you from growing is when you are not capable of making sacrifices. Sacrifices that can push you beyond your limits. So like paying for trainings, traveling to listen to speakers and the rest of them. So there are very many things you can do to develop yourself, but the goal is to be better today than you are yesterday.
So, what can you say about procrastination in particular? Because I feel that's one of the biggest challenges that people actually go through in their personal lives. Oh, I'm going to do this thing tomorrow when they should have done it today. What can you say about that, and how can people actually come out of that procrastination, actually do things when they ought to do them? For example, we had this competition and you had to actually be consistent for 30 days. If someone was procrastinating, it would be very difficult to actually complete those 30 days and even take that consistency out of the competition to your brand. So how can people actually, avoid procrastination in their personal lives, in their professional work, and every other aspect?
Okay. I think one of the things that causes procrastination is the fact that sometimes you feel you're not ready. Like you feel, can I do this tomorrow? Probably you're not ready in the sense that you feel you don't know much, or you feel you don't have the time, or you feel that that's not the right place. But there is no better time than the moment you got that inspiration. Do it then. And also the fact that life is very short, you have to keep that in mind. And the stages of life also fades away easily. You are still a teenager. Before you know it, you are no longer a teenager. So that is why you should pay more attention into doing something immediately you get the inspiration to do it. Then secondly, you don't have to be good enough. You mustn't be good enough actually, because some of the things in life it's better learning on the job, like especially developing yourself. You must not wait until it's a compound journey. So when you know that this, once you lose today, today is gone. It cannot come back again. So it's very necessary you do something every time you feel like doing it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio today. It was a great experience talking about how to come out of your shell and actually showcase your skills. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. So it's been very fantastic, having the top winners with me here in the studio, like in Uyo. I had Obichukwu Abraham, I had Emmanuel Olajide with me here, and it was fantastic also talking to them and then getting to learn from them. Okay, so the next competition is starting in February. Be sure that you participate. I look forward to celebrating you during and even after the competition. See you on our community, Brilliant Entrepreneurs and Writers Academy. You are very much welcome as we continue to promote the culture of creative writing and public speaking. Once again, I remain your host, Enosam, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.
Brilliant Entrepreneurs and Writers Academy presents the biggest creative writing and public speaking competition in Africa. Also featuring the illustrious African Writers Awards. Experience BEWA Content Creation Competition. Write, video, be visible, win.